Hello everyone. I figured I'd give you my personal review of the Astro3 external battery that I bought. For geeks like me, as you know, finding a power source sometimes is not easy, especially when I go camping. Sometimes I go camping for a week and it's very difficult for me to find power. This is something great that can help you. So the Astro3 external battery will charge most of your electronic devices. This one is a 10,000 milliamp battery pack. So what I'm going to go through is the packaging, how to use it, and my thoughts around it after some initial use. So it comes in a pretty, decent, I guess, box. Tells you it has 10,000 milliamps. Claims that it will charge your cell phone 6 full times and a full charge to your iPad. I don't fully believe that because you'll actually know that when you charge other devices, you'll actually lose some of the capacity of the battery through the charging. So if you have a 2000 milliamp battery on your smartphone, most likely you'll only get about 4 charges out of it rather than 10 if you simply do the math. So packaging is alright when you open it up. Inside you get a whole lot of goodies. Get a pretty flimsy piece of plastic that holds it all together, but after you really open it, you're never going to use it again. So on the left side, you have the massive battery pack. So this is what the device looks like. It's quite shiny, but overall it's pretty heavy in the hand. When I compare it to something such as a Galaxy S2, you can see from a thickness perspective, it is significantly thicker. I would say pretty much about 2 times thicker, maybe a little bit more. So it's not something really you're going to throw in your jeans pocket and carry around with you. Most likely you'll need a backpack or a laptop bag to really, carry it for you. So when we look at the device itself, it's a pretty simple device. The front of it has the name Anker. When you look at the bottom, you're going to see 4 dots and a power button. The 4 dots are actually LEDs. When you press the power button, it'll light up according to how much power is actually in the battery pack. So if you have one light lit up, it's 0 to 25%. The second one is 25 to 50. The third one is 50 to 75. And the fourth one is 75 to 100. Then you'll notice a little light there, which may be hard to read on the camera, but actually says 9 volts because on the side here, you can actually switch it to 9 volts or 12 volts output. And that's really for the DC charger that's capable with this. So the only other buttons or ports on this is actually where you start plugging things in. So you have 2 USB ports. One is actually labeled out S. Second one is out I. You have an output for DC charging and an input for actually charging the unit. So the differences is out S and out 1, they both charge normal smartphones. I think it has a 2 amp output. So you can charge 2 phones at once if you want to. I think they claim that if you did do that, it would take a little bit longer to charge because I think it is sharing the same kind of output. The real difference why they have them labeled S and I is what they claim is for this one is what you use to charge a Galaxy a Galaxy Tab, while this one is really for your Apple iPads. I guess from an amp standpoint, this one might be a little bit stronger. So they're kind of tailored for those uses. So if you do want to charge your iPad, which I will show you in this demo, you would use the out I. The output here is for DC chargers, different type of hookup, and that's where you really leverage the 9 volt or the 12 volt depending on what your device needs. So let's see what else is in the package here. Bring this a little closer. So again, you get a little instructions manual, really tiny font, but it's pretty useful. It tells you exactly how to use the device, what you would use the different outputs for, which you'll probably never use again once you read them once. Then you have some other crap, some marketing stuff. Never going to look at that. Then you have about 1 billion connectors, which is actually really nice and kind of annoying at the same time. So let me lay them all out for you so you can see really how many they give you. Okay, so overall, they give you, which I find interesting because this is quite outdated now, they give you a mini USB direct connector rather than a micro USB, which is really what most smartphones nowadays use as the standard. So they give you one of those. This doesn't change. You can't plug anything else into it to use it. So really for me, I'll just throw it in my, probably in my garbage because I almost never use one of these. The next thing you get, which is the most important connector, is this. So one side plugs into USB, and the other side is looks very similar to a DC port, but really what it does is it connects to any of these loose connectors that they give you. And the loose connectors range from as you can see here, a micro USB, which is used to charge most smartphones, all the way to 10-pin connectors for your iPads, etc. So there's a billion of them here. Basically, if you have any smartphone in the last 10 years, you should be able to charge it with any of the ports that they give you here. The way it works, you just take one end, plug it in here, and now you're good to go. You made yourself your own special cord. The other thing they give you is the DC converter, basically, with all the different tips. So this might be used for your laptops, depending on what you're trying to use. But ultimately, you'd take these out, try to find out which one fits your laptop, and then similar to the other one, take it out, and either side will work here. You plug it in one way, you take your device, and you plug it in the output, and you're good to go. So I really am going to use it for smartphone use. So what I wanted to show you is how it actually can charge a smartphone as well as an iPad, which is what I have here. So what I'll do is I will grab my connector, make sure the micro USB is connected to it. Go ahead and connect it to either the S out or the out S or out I, because it really doesn't matter. Plug it in. Take your smartphone, as you normally would, nothing special here. Well, obviously there's something a little special. Interesting. Unless this is not the right connector, which it should be. There we go. Sorry about that. Turn it on by pressing the button. And you can see immediately the smartphone kind of turns on. And if we zoom in, it's kind of hard to see. There it goes. It's charging. I've tested this. It does charge quite well. I was able to charge my phone about 4 times, as I said, before I had to reload it with power. So obviously that works. So again, we can take this off now, and let's say we want to charge something like an iPad. So again, what we have to do is take the connector tip off, find the one for the 30-pin iPad, which I believe is this one. Connect it. Now, again, towards the directions, because it's an iPad, you want to use the out I. So we're going to plug it in there. Grab this thing, shove it into the bottom of your iPad. Again, this is with the older style, so it doesn't come with the Lightning connector. However, this really takes any USB, so you could just use that one. Again, you won't see it charging until you press the power button, so you don't want to get scared at first. Press the power button, and immediately, hopefully you heard that noise, you can see, let me focus here, it is charging. And sorry for the bad focus, but believe me when I say it is charging. Okay. So overall, that's my review. I think the downside really to this is the packaging that they give you. The only other thing in the packaging is actually this relatively, I'm going to say it's a pretty nice netting to help keep your battery pack safe. So it holds it quite tight in there, and it has padding, so it's not really going to bounce around and hurt itself. So it's in this nice, it looks pretty cheap, but it's actually pretty paddy in there. My complaint is there's only room in here for the actual device. So you have all these other chargers that you want to carry around, all this stuff that they don't give you a bag for, some sort of carrying case. So ultimately you'll have to use a Ziploc bag or something else to keep them, and that will mean that they're most likely going to be prone to being lost. So ultimately, it doesn't matter that much because you're always going to have your own chargers to use, and you can, since both of them hook up to USB anyway, it's not that big of a deal, but I wish they gave you a better carrying case. Other than that, I'm very impressed with the product. Being able to charge my phone on the go 4 times is kind of amazing, especially if you have your friends with you. You're going into the city for a long trip, and maybe you're using it for tons of video, taking pictures, etc. A lot of times your battery can run out pretty quick, and this can be a great way to charge your cell phone, your cameras, and even your laptops if you so choose. But that's my review. If you have any questions, let me know and I'll try to answer them. Thanks.